The EIDL grant is back on, baby. The EIDL grant is in the third stimulus package. The $1,400 third stimulus check package has EIDL grant. It will be $5,000. It will be exactly $5,000, two income qualifications. One, that your business has less than 10 employees, and number two, you suffered a 50% decrease in your output because of the pandemic. But how do you get an EIDL? What are the application questions? What are the answers? Enjoy this throwback video on EIDL that explains eligibility and how to get an EIDL grant on Overnights LALATE. Are EIDL loans be denied for prior criminal records? This is an LALATE bombshell for Sunday, May 17th. Thanks for tuning in. This is LALATE. As always, like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in tomorrow's recording for Monday. And today we're going to be responding to all 80 of your incredible comments from Saturday's taping. But first, the shocking news. A lot of you have been asking LALATE to research one big issue. As you know or may have heard, a document has been leaked online purporting to be a document internally from SBA. The document, however, has issues, and LA is going to address those immediately. First of all, the document did not leak last week. A lot of channels have been claiming it's a new document. It's not a new document. Second, the document allegedly leaked in mid-April. Third, the document is not consistent with what LALATE has heard on this channel. So let's get right to the point. LALATE, as a current Sunday, May 17th, has not seen any indication that SBA applicants for EIDL loans have been denied and received a denial letter based upon prior criminal records. Now let's back up. The original streamlined application that you applied for the EIDL grant and loan asked about prior criminal or arrest histories. There's a series of questions that were asked by SBA. Under the charters of the federal government, the SBA has the right to ask that question. And some of you may have put the answer yes. There's still no indication from any of you in the 500 comments we're receiving per day over the last 14 days that have received a denial letter from SBA for their EIDL loan based upon bad character, based upon criminal record, based upon arrest history. None of you have indicated that in the comments. However, what many of you have asked is whether your EIDL loan or grant is being slowed in processing due to criminal history. That is certainly possible. There are guidelines set up by the SBA and the federal laws that allow them to inquire about your prior history, whether it's a felony, misdemeanor, arrest, or conviction. And that goes to character, and they can use those issues in determining whether or not to grant a loan. However, none of you have indicated to date that you have not been denied a loan based upon bad character. In fact, you have only indicated denials for two purposes: low Experian credit scores taken when the EIDL loan offer is made, or a technical error, like something to the effect of unable to verify identity. So based upon that, this is the current update as of Sunday. We have not seen anything in the history of the correspondences between representatives of SBA and you, the viewer, where you have been denied based upon prior arrest or criminal records. If you've received a denial letter for those purposes, please send it or communicate it with LALATE by dropping in the comments below. So that's the news. Shocking. And now let's get to your questions, and we're going to answer them. And there are some biggies in here, so stay to the end of this video. First, Denise says, question, for those who received their loan approval before the grant, would love to hear they finally got the grant, or is it just included the loan? Okay, so this is going to be the topic of the grant story tonight if you haven't watched it. LLAte's going to exclusively revealed in the Eidl grant video for Sunday, May 17th, that if you've not received a grant by the time of today's recording, you're not going to receive a grant advance ever. But when will the grant occur? Watch that video for the answer. Michelle, I just found that an SBA employee leaked the qualifications. Untrue, Michelle. The document surfacing on channels is not new. It's a very early to mid-April document. There's been countless news stories written about the document. Let's go to Amran Badran. I know people with a felony who will still get the loan and the grant if it's more than 10 years ago. Well, Amro, good point. Interesting to hear that. Dimitri, guidance basically said that low scores should be okay due to high balance, but they don't want to see missed and late payments. So Dimitri is referring to an interesting point. How low is the Experian credit score, and at what point are just loans not being processed? And you've asked this repeatedly, and here's what our answer is. We have seen Experian credit scores in the high 500s that got loans. We have not seen, at least from your comments, anyone getting a loan effectuated. I don't mean a loan offer, but I only mean a loan accepted when you go into the portal and you accept. That is in the mid to low 500s. If you've received it, please comment below. Fennel. Hello, LA. Hello, Fennel. I'm still waiting. My character's great. Well, great. You have great character. They could actually Google me. Well, maybe I'll Google you as well. I'll let you know what happens. Well, thank you. Connie. Hey, my loan was approved, but I never see my any grant. The closing documents show the full amount of the loan and no mention of the grant. Is there anything I should do or can do? Yes. First, watch our grant story tonight. And also call up SBA and say, where's your darn grant money? You got a loan. And they will give it to you. Linda. Love your channel. Thank you, Linda. Have you heard anyone receiving a loan offer, then sending a message with the portal asking for a larger loan and then receiving it? Great question. So a lot of you ask, can you negotiate about your loan? And don't know. I know some of you have done it. You said it in the comments. I don't know the results of it. So if you got a loan offer and you negotiated for a higher on the phone, what happened? Drop in the comments. I don't know the answer yet. Ray, I spoke with the SBA about how come people applying after me getting the loan already. She said some loan offers work faster than others. Not acceptable. I do know, as we reported, that if you were agricultural, you got your loan processed before everyone that's been waiting. Tom, hey, LA, love your post. Well, thank you, Tom. I'm TWA Safety. I got a loan offer today for $1,500. Credit score 725. That's awful, TWA Safety. I mean, I would call them up and say, why is your loan offer so low? I would think that's maybe based upon the calculation of the documents you gave. You know, the loans are based upon the information you provide, 2019 earnings minus cost of goods sold, cost of services rendered divided by 2. D. Ross, if you're denied for the loan, you don't get the grant. Well, might have to watch our grant story tonight to hear if that's true. Wayne Montgomery, LLAte, I have 2 felonies on my record and less than 10 years old. Charged with identity theft. Okay, so this is great. We started with the lead topic tonight, and now we have someone who's addressing his criminal record in the comments. I have a felony on my record less than 10 years ago. I was charged with identity theft and counterfeiting by the feds. I was still approved for a grant. And I also received an offer for a loan. However, I'm not taking the loan. I was convicted of crimes on May 2011. I also confirmed with SBA that only felonies in the last 5 years are counted. Well, here you go. Bombshell, 7 minutes into this taping. My grant came on April 21st and the loan came on May 13th. And by the way, by indications of his date, his documents came after that document purportedly leaked online. So much for that darn document. Most of the business owners on your show seem like they're running businesses that cannot be verified by SBA. SBA only runs a credit check on the individual, but also runs it on the business check, the incorporation, good standing. You're absolutely correct. They do a credit check on both you and the individual and the business. They need to confirm both are verifiable. This has to be done because SBA has to be able to get a UCC lien on the business through the Secretary of State. Oh, great point. That is the most incredibly comprehensive news we have for tonight. So thank you, Bren Lawfer. If the SBA portal was registered and had a higher offer prior to the 150 cap, is a loan automatically downgraded to 150 at the time of signing the loan documents? No. So everyone gets a specialized loan range. You go in, and if you haven't been watching this channel, and this is your first video tuning in, this is what we've been telling you. 2 to 3 weeks after you receive your grant offer, you should get a loan email. Now, if you never received a grant, you'll still be getting the loan email. The loan email will be a portal invite email from SBA. Go into a portal to go in and click, and at that point you'll see the loan offer. You can accept it or decline it. You don't have to click on the email. If you don't click on the email, you don't need to take the loan. You go in, and there you'll see the offer. When you accept it, a second Experian credit score check is done, and then you'll find out if you're denied or accepted. Dominique. Got the advance for one. I applied. Got the first advance. Which one should come first? No portal yet. No credit score. 639. So that's good to know. Dominique, I would stay with it. 639 is fine. I would not be worried about the 639. Beauty Babe, I noticed Texas and Utah's numbers are super high. Those seats are opening up. I'm in the Northeast. I've been hit hard. Nothing. Eidl is favored in certain states. Yeah, so if you watched our Eidl bombshell yesterday for Saturday, we reported that New York got very few Eidl loans overall based upon population and businesses. If you're concerned about your state, watch that video from Saturday. Safari, should I accept the Eidl loan so I can still be qualified for the Main Street lending program? Oh, great question. So watch our Main Street lending video, which we actually uploaded midday Sunday. A lot of people were asking about it. So watch that video, and then you can see exactly what are the requirements. There's a lot to know about the Main Street loan. But yes, you can do one with the other. They coexist with the other, but one may roll into one or this or that. So you need to read very slowly on it. Too much for just this video. Motivation through inspiration and education. Hey, LA, after applying for the EIDL on 3/30, I just got an email today, 5/16, that my loan is denied during my express score. Should I reapply? Thank you. No, you should not reapply. You should watch our video on either Monday or Tuesday this week, which will be about EIDL loan reconsideration. If you've been denied an EIDL loan, we're doing a video to address for you how you ask for reconsideration. A lot of you are now getting denials, unfortunately, and we're going to address for you how you do a reconsideration. It doesn't mean you're going to get approved, but gives you a chance to maybe get reapproved. All right, GD. When you're approved for the loan, do you receive an email notification, or do you have to keep checking into the portal? You have to keep checking into the portal. You sign out and sign back in, and it'll say something like accepted or declined in the portal. Thank you, GD. Trey. Hey, I love your show. I love your name, Trey. But you could please tell us what the stats are on the loans for Florida. Is it true that if you owe child support, you don't get the loan? There are rules about child support. They're in the original EIDL streamline application. If you want to see the exact words about it, just Google EIDL streamline application. A copy of it is still online, and you can see exactly the words regarding child support. Raid, it's been a month since I got the grant. No email, no credit check. Raid, I'd stay with you. If you want that loan, call SBA. Call SBA, ask for Tier 2. Milton Shepard, my business is located in New York. Submitted my EIDL applications end of March. Been waiting, and today I received 2 decline letters for 2 of my companies due to unsatisfactory credit history. I received $1,000 for one of my businesses, but not for the other. I'm working on doing a reconsideration. By the way, you're awesome. Well, thank you, Milton. Watch our video on Monday or Tuesday about reconsideration letters, and wait till you watch that video before sending it. There's no rush. It's only been I think you're saying it's only been a day or two since you got the denials, so I think you have time. But check your timelines. April Davis, loan offer 514 to 72,000, 668 no EIDL grant. How long before I'm approved for docs and funding? So that's a really great question, April. Early in the week, this week, people were getting approvals automated. So if you went into the portal and you accepted an amount, it was by automation. Literally within minutes, you were getting an automation of accept or decline. You were given the DocuSign document automated, and then you were signing it, and funding was coming for 24 hours. By the end of this week, it looked like it sort of derailed. Now, along this entire period, everyone who had got loans that were over $50,000 was sometimes asked to submit additional documentation. There's indication that SBA wants some sort of indication of how to secure the loan in the event of default, and they're concerned about that for bigger amounts. So that might be what's derailing yours, but I'll call it SBA. Ricardo Hall. Hey, like, gosh, I love this channel. It's like an SBA support group. It is. I personally know a few people with felonies that have been approved and funded. So there's Ricardo with another bombshell. Thank you for the bombshell 13 minutes in. So people with felonies got funded. The question is, when were the felonies? I also spoke to a T2 representative and asked about felons. Oh, so you called in and say, hey, how about those felons? Representative says not a problem as long as it's not recent or has anything to do with fraud. Well, that other person earlier talked about his record, and it's interesting. I know recent is an issue. Thank you, Ricardo, for the great insight. Young Yi. I got the portal registration. Do you know if I accept the loan, will they run my credit score again? Yes. The minute you go in there and accept, it will trigger a credit score check again. It's not clear if just signing in the portal triggers the credit check. It should not. But if you accept the loan offer, it will trigger Experian again. MacGyver. I woke up Saturday morning, 5/16, with $14,000 deposited after 48 hours after I signed the documents here in Texas. There you go. So he got funded 48 hours after submitting after signing the DocuSign document for the loan in the portal. Kathy Tinzel, what has been processed in Tennessee? I wish I knew. I don't have the Tennessee graph in front of me. But as we reported yesterday, the average loan has been about $200,000 in every state. The amount of loans approved, I don't know the number of loans in Tennessee. Sorry about that. Sophia Lee, I just got an offer for $44,000. Congratulations, Sophia. I verified my identity, accepted the 44, waiting for the documents to sign. So I hope you get accepted. Just because you got an offer, I hope it's accepted on the other end. Keep us updated. BMFJ. Hey, LLate. Hey, BMF. I applied on 4/6, received a grant on 5/1, so I'm glad you got the grant. I did receive the email saying they're indicating working on the loan. I called SBA today, 5/16. They said they're processing the paperwork. The portal should come in this week. Things are processing. I'm in Ohio. Thank you for your time and support. Brad J. Thank you, Brad J. So that's great news. So Brad J called. He got a grant on May 1st, so he was late on his grant, but they're still processing. Good to know. Shannon Wynn. Hey, I love the show. Well, thank you, Shannon. Thanks for tuning in. What are your thoughts on the SBA potentially proceeding grants and loans based upon the amount of customer reports as business income? The higher the amount, the loan officer wants to give priority. What is it unfair? But what should answer the applications did go in order as originally stated by the SBA? Shannon, I don't know. I don't think that's true. If you have heard, basically Shannon's asking if EIDL loans are being processed in the order of the amount requested. I don't think that's true. I think they're being done on a regional basis, date that was submitted, and then verification of identity. I think some that they weren't able to verify the identity immediately took them off the tracks. And then some that were in those vortex days of 3/30, 3/31, and 4/8 got derailed. I don't think anyone got priority because of the amount. Now, agricultural did get priority. If you watched our video from last week. Dennis, no EIDL loan. Got EIDL loan denial today. No grant. Applied 3/30/29. Never applied for a loan. So that's unfortunate. If you want to do a reconsideration, watch our video on Monday, Tuesday. Sorry about that. Tom Vale, you're doing a bang-up job. Well, thank you, Tom. Signed documents today, $26,000. No second credit. Wow. So, Tom, if you want the grant, call SBA and say, where's your darn grant money as well? And watch our grant video today to explain a little bit more to you. So, Ernie Terrell, I have one thing financed for 14 years. My score is blank. I bet the rest of the grant, I bet I get the loan. I'll keep you in the loop. Streamline application, $1,000. So he got a $1,000 grant on May 6th. He applied on April 6th, but he's not gotten the loan. So, I mean, Ernie, if you want to call SBA, call SBA. By the way, they're open on Sunday. If you're just tuning in today, they are open on Sunday. Miss Self-Spoiled, great screen name. I was sent a denial letter saying I didn't prove I had an economic injury. I applied March 30th and was given a grant on April 15th. Interesting. I don't understand that one. So that one is a new one. Michelle, I'm going to keep that in mind. Miss Self-Spoil, I'm going to keep that in mind when we do our reconsideration. So someone was denied based upon lack of showing of economic injury. Interesting. Kevin Carter, I applied for 10, received my advance on May 5th. No critical, still waiting for the vote. Spoke with several representatives, only to be told application being processed. Okay, stay with it. Call back SBA if you want more updates, Kevin. Kathy, I was told if I don't accept low agricultural offer, I will not receive a grant. I told them next time, go pay $5 a hamburger. Remember that agricultural farmers. Kathy, I that's really disconcerting. As we reported last week, people who applied for agricultural loans that went live last week got a grant and loan, all fully funded within days. I don't know why they're playing around with you, Kathy. I would stay with them. KWASG3. Hey, Ellie. Thank you for the vids. Well, thank you. I have an auto shop with a U-Haul attached, and at first I didn't need help. No U-Haul is 0 and stopped working near 0. And now the agriculture says agriculture only, EIDL. Is this supposed to, since I work on farm equipment, am I in the agricultural industry? Thanks, Kyle. Kyle, what I would do is I would look at two things. I would look at see how they define agriculture. I mean, you have a great question. What is agricultural for purpose of the IDL loan agricultural platform that went live last week? I would look at the platform and see if they define agriculture. I think they do. I think there's a few words in it. Second, I would look at your tax return and see how you list your business. I think because you are applying as a business, see how you list your business on page 2 at the top, where you have to list a code. There's a federal code that represents the type of business you do. They may cross-check it with that. Finally, I mean, this sounds naive, but what's the name of your business? If your name of your business is an auto shop, that may bounce them right away. So, not to say you don't qualify, but be prepared if the name of the business doesn't really sound agricultural at all. But great question. Keep us up to date. Ani, update on PUA. Oh, Ani, great. Michael Pulpa. Hey, Elliot, I have a question for you and your views. What seems to be the average wait time for the application to file to response? Was told on SBA 515, certain quota they have to meet with the agricultural loans before they start open the poll. Keep up the great work, Mike Pop in North Carolina. Great question, Mike. So the agricultural people don't concern you. So basically, agricultural applicants are getting their own loan officer, as we reported in a bombshell last week. So those agricultural people are being done fast because they have their own loan officer team processing them. You're in another group. You're in the original group, which is everything else. And what's the lag time? The lag time is 2 to 3 weeks after you receive the grant. You should receive the loan offer. If you do not receive the grant by the time of watching this video, you need to watch the grant video produced today on Sunday to find out if you will ever be receiving the grant. Nico stated that they could not substantiate my economic injury. How are they making this determination? I'm in Georgia and I had sent a reconsideration. Oh, so he already sent the reconsideration with a 2009 federal tax return. I don't have any hope this will do anything. Been reading others that are denied for the same reason, have the exact application grant date as me. So Nico, you've already submitted your reconsideration. I like to see what happens. That's the second person on the comments for today with that regard. We're going to address that on Monday's taping. Phil Morgan, I think the EIDL loan is, the grant should have been $10,000. Absolutely. Great point, Phil. Corey Wright, credit scores are higher in Vermont and New Hampshire. So he's referring to a video we did yesterday, which talked about that the grants were being given in proportional more in the states of Vermont and Virginia and New Hampshire than the states that were harder hit by COVID-19. And he says the credit scores are higher in those states. Minnesota has a 713, South Dakota has a 709, 705. Great point. Grandma Ducky, love your channel. Well, thank you, Grandma. Wesley Oberman, I got a denial letter, said unsatisfactory credit history, 680, 700. I should have approved. So I would watch our video on Monday talking about how to deal with a denial letter. Hey Rob, Rob S. Hey LLA, if they offer you a range of 10 to 20,000, it's best to accept a mid-range other than have the higher offer. If they deny you for the higher amount, can you renegotiate for a lower amount and willing to approve? Thanks again, Rob. Great question. I've not heard the answer to this. So Rob is asking a great question. If you have a range of number offered to you and you accept something on the higher end and you get denial, can you say, okay, I'll take the smaller one to get a grant, to get an approval? You know, our hearing so far, Rob, and I don't know if this is true, is that it doesn't matter that it has already been predetermined that you're a denial or an acceptance. So when they send this, and we have already reported that when it's a lower loan offer, that's generally a denial, and when it's a higher loan offer, that's generally an acceptance. For example, we have people that have commented that they received, $100,000 to $250,000 loan offers. Well, just because they accept $100,000 doesn't mean it's accepted versus accepting $250,000. But those of you who have had lower loan offers of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 have accepted. Even the low end have gotten denials. I think it's based upon the Experian credit score, and when the loan offer is so low, it can be a denial. Keep us informed. Lee Love Intense. Now you're starting to believe that it's purely streamlined application. There's no loan officers. Well, yeah, there are. Mike Henson. I've been anxiously waiting for my Eidl grant since April 1st. Last Saturday, they finally pulled credit for Experian. Heard nothing. Said I should send an email. I'm just building my credit back up so it's in the low 600, but I was hoping for that 10,000 grant, which could turn into a $1,000 grant, which has turned into nothing. Mike, I'm sad to hear that. Watch our Eidl grant story tonight, and you may be even more pissed off when we tell you what's going on with those of you who haven't gotten a grant. Thick Girls Twerky Micro Bikini is the screen name. Says applied in May. They denied me, saying it's only agricultural businesses. Absolutely true. So 24-minute running time. Great questions. If you have comments about today's video recorded on Sunday, drop them below by Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we will try to answer all of them in Monday's recording. As always, stay with LLA for more.